Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay.
I mean, I haven't looked at deep for Hebrew since I was. So. It's hard.
I kind of expected it would be.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Good to see you. I just wanted to alert our dear host. I'm sorry to first been like this, but we had to change our exam time differently. I was figuring you'll be able to see us. Oh, I always send it to Sam. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry to bother you. It's so wonderful to be here with you. I'm so glad to be here. You see their little faces? Hi, friends. They're looking great. They're looking amazing.
Right. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 back to the beginning. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 ya lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, dear ones. Welcome to Shir Tikva. My name is Rabbi Ariel. I have light skin and glasses and curly hair in a braid, and I'm smiling big because I'm so glad to be in this space. I'm standing in front of our beautiful bima, our beautiful Torot, and I'm so grateful to be leading with. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jane, short, used to be dark hair, mostly white. Short, that's what I can say. Okay.
I'm Gail Zoffer. I've got short, curly gray hair, and I'm about 5'2". And I'm delighted to be here.
Welcome, welcome. We're so grateful to both of you for your leadership. And a word of thanks as we begin. I have missed being with you these last 2 weeks. These were my first 2 weeks off since November, and it was a real gift to be away, and it was strange and confusing to be so far, especially these weeks. And so I want to say thank you to each of you, and especially to Forrest Yesnes and Naomi Waldtower and Julie Jacobs and our confirmation students. I want to say thank you to Rabbi Stiefel and Aaron Burke and Sophie Rand, all of whom held the container of prayer while I was on the East Coast. And just thank you so much for all of our tender leaders for helping this sanctuary be open and full of song and full of our davening. I am so grateful to have been able to take a breath. And I'm also grateful to be able to re-enter this sanctuary with you. So as we enter Shabbat tonight, as we enter our service, I want to invite each of you to welcome yourselves into Shabbat. Maybe that means you want to give yourself a hug. Maybe it means you want to tap on your heart to say, are you here? Are you here? So I want to invite you, each of us, to allow our prayers to be a sound bath, and to allow this space, whether we are joining on Zoom or on YouTube or here on Dakota Land on 50th Street, just allow our space to embrace you. Allow all of you is welcome. Your tiredness and your joy, your rage and your hope, your questions, your all of you is welcome. As we open to Shabbat, let us welcome ourselves and each other into the moment. And let us welcome our voices streaming from all over the country. I see we have friends in Kansas City and friends in Oregon on Zoom, and we have friends that are coming in who haven't been here in a while. So let us just say welcome to each other. Let's look around for a moment and beam each other. And if you're in Zoom, take a moment and look at each other and wave. I'm curious, is there anyone in the 50th Street or on Zoom who is here for the very first time? If you just want to welcome. And on Zoom, is there anyone who's here for the very first time? I think there are.
And is there anyone who's here for the first time since COVID? Welcome and coming back into the sanctuary. Yeah, welcome, welcome. So we're going to say Shehechianu as a community because this is the first time this minyan has gathered together. Shehechianu, this blessing on new moments. So I'm going to invite us please to open to page 344.
No.
This is great, and there's a roll call happening in Zoom. We have folks on Minnehaha Creek, Southern California, Western Mass, Washington, and a beautiful lake called Clam Lake, which is in Siren, Wisconsin, so welcome. So let's sing, grounding in these new moments. Let's not take for granted the fact that we are here, connected. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. So we're going to light our Shabbat candles now, and we are opening to this new month, the month of Tammuz, and opening ourselves up to the possibilities that entering a new month opens for us. So to light our Shabbat candles, I'm going to invite up anyone who's like, you know what, I could use a new beginning. Like, let's open to the possibilities of a new month. And I'm going to invite anyone who's like, yes, that's the energy I have this Shabbat, to come join me here and as we light Shabbat candles. And if you're at home, I invite you please to gather your candles and to light along with us. So come on up, anyone who's like, yes, I am ready for this new month and for the new possibilities that this month brings, without nervousness. Or bring your nervousness. Your nervousness is also welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. So it's my joy to be able to offer a blessing to a pair of twins that are on Zoom right now. So this is our first time experiencing this. We are experimenting with all sorts of multimodal life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spotlight Bridget and Nathan and Asa and Kieran on my laptop. I'm going to turn them around so folks in the sanctuary can behold the cuteness. I know you want to see the cuteness. Who doesn't want to see the cuteness? And we're going to move the plants. You know. Think it's a pandemic miracle. Here we all are together. The only problem is I can't see them, so I'm moving too. Okay, it's my joy to be able to offer a blessing for Asa and for Kieran, Bergen Goldman, and their parents, Nathan and Bridget. Kieran and Asa were born prematurely at 26 weeks and 2 days gestation at the beginning of February. And they have been growing strong and fierce and amazing ever since. And so just welcome to you, you wonderful foursome. So Midrash tells us that we each receive 3 names in our lifetimes, one given by our grown-ups, one given by our community, and one that we earn for ourselves. And the names that Asa and Kieran are receiving from their parents mark the beginning of this journey. So I asked Nathan and Bridget to share about the names that they chose for their children because we're not able to have a back and forth, and this is what they had to say. Our sons' secular names, Asa Maliki and Kieran Eliah, reflect and represent their Ashkenazi Jewish and Irish American heritage. It was important to us that each of our sons have a name that rooted them in both of their traditions. For this reason, too, the boys' last names, Bergen Goldman, combine both of ours. We chose these names to honor the ways that we hope they will carry forward traits from our families as they add their own unique personalities into the mix. We will strive to raise them in our family's traditions of humor, curiosity, compassion, a love of storytelling, creativity, and a commitment to the pursuit of justice within their communities and in the wider world. So Asa's Hebrew name is Yitzchak, which means one who will laugh. Kieran's name is Chaim, which means life. These names highlight and celebrate the moments of joy that Asa and Kieran brought during the 95 days their family spent in the NICU. The moments of humor amid sadness and vitality despite vulnerability. And while their first months were full of worry and fear, thank God they were also shot through with beauty. As these children, these amazing sprouts, their spirits and their bodies have grown and flourished. So thank you so much to Bridget and to Nathan for sharing your wishes and blessings. And it's my joy now to pour down some blessings on you as well. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu kayem et hayaladim ha'ele lehoreinu v'yikareh shemam b'Yisrael Yitzchak v'chaim. In the presence of community, we recognize you by the names Yitzchak and Chaim, children of Bridget and Nathan. Let these names be honored and respected for wisdom and good deeds. May you both move along the path of goodness and beauty and truth. Do justly and love mercy. Be humble before the mystery of life and the grandeur of the universe into which you have been born. Chaim ve'Yitzchak, tiyu asher tiyu, v'tiyu beruchim b'asher tiyu. Kieran and Asa, be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. So we are so thrilled to get to welcome you at last and to celebrate with you, Nathan and Bridget. May you continue in strength and joy with your two little ones, and know that this whole community, those who are here on 50th Street and on Zoom and the wider Shir Tikva community and the wider Jewish community, we're here in it with you. May you all continue your path of healing and growing in strength. May this tradition be a source of strength and grounding for you, and we look forward to marking moments of real joy and to joining together in the struggle. Mazal tov to you all. So let's sing. Simin tova, mazel tova, simin tov, simin tov. Mazel tova, simin tov. Yeilanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu, ulechol Yisrael. Mazal tov. So let us sing together now on page 12 in Mishkan Tefillah, number 2 in our online Siddur.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria l'tzur yishenu, nekadma fana l'todah. Naria, naria, l'tzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. lechu neranena l'Adonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
We join together with this interpretation for Psalm 96 on page 344, Shir Chadash. Is that what you wanted?
You're okay? Okay.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. I will sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash.
So we invite our tangled places to loosen. Ana Bechoach, which is found in our purple-blue insert, number 4 in our online Siddur.
Ana bekoach gedulat yemincha, tatir tzerura, tatir tzerura, kabel rinat, rinat amcha, sagveinu, tahareinu, norai. Ay, 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 I believe in solid ground.
Solid ground.
Saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, and in the ever rolling ocean. I believe in solid ground, until I saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, and in the ever rolling ocean.
And as we imagine this rolling ocean, I'm going to invite us, if we're on 50th Street, just to make a sound. Maybe it's a hum, maybe it's a nod. to know. And if you're on Zoom, I'm going to invite you to also turn on your microphones and make noise. But the goal of this is not to make so much noise you can't hear what's happening around you. Let's just feel this container of prayer. If we're on microphones, I'm going to invite us to step back. Let's fill up the space with our voices. Can we hear each other? Can we lift each other? I believed in solid ground until I saw the earth in motion in the winds of steady change and in the ever-rolling ocean. So good to hear you, so good to be in this sweet container of sound. I'm going to invite us to bring our voices tenderly and to bring our voices bravely, knowing that that's actually the breath that we take in to be able to sing. This is actually part of the way that we keep ourselves alive. This is part of how we access Shabbat. And just know that we do not take for granted the fact that we're able to sing together and to feel each other breathing. So we're going to sing Lecha Dodi. We're going to welcome Shabbat on page 20 or number 5 in our online Siddur. And we'll sing, and then as we arrive to verse 9, we will throw open our doors here on 50th Street, and wherever you are, I invite you please to open your windows, open your doors, open your hearts a little wider as we welcome Shabbat.
Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kala. Ay, 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kala. Ay, 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemo tiferet ve'litila. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kala. Ay, 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela.
בשבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נצוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט במטבחה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי. על יד בן ישר בית הלחמי, קורבה נפשי גאולה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, בני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתחי ומה תהמי, יחפשו עלי עמי, ונבנתה עיר על תילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, בני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשחר שופייך, ורחקו כל
יסיך עלייך אלוהיך כי צוחצן הקלה לך דודי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי אל איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ומגילה לך דודי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה יללה 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 יללה
Shabbat Shalom. We'll take this time now to greet each other. Now, and I want to encourage those of us who are not going to be automatically put into breakout rooms with people we don't know, to put ourselves manually into breakout rooms with people we don't know. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Don't be nervous if you don't remember someone's name. Just say your name and ask them theirs. It's okay. We'll just practice. Good Shabbos. We'll come back in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, friends in the breakout rooms. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, la la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ay la la, ay 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 oh. Just making sure that our breakout rooms have come back. Looks like we're going to sing a nigun for like 2 more seconds as people stream back. We are so on time. Ya la la la, ya la. Here they come. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ay la la, ay la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ay la la. Let's rise in body and spirit for Baruch on page 28, number 6.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach Aruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro ma'ariv harabim v'chokhmah potech shirim. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים. We sing about love on page 32. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה מזבחים ומשפטים אותנו למדתה כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגי יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Let's say the Shema together, page 34. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Let's turn to page 36.
Haftarah et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים.
אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We pray for peace. Let's pray for peace. We'll start with this kavanah, with this prayer for peace by Rabbi Natan Sternhartz, which is number 2 in our purple blue sheets, or number 11 in our online Siddur, and then we will carry right into Ushmor Hashkivenu, found on page 42. No, I'm just kidding. I was already ready to pray for peace, but first we're going to sing about liberation. I was ready, though. So I'll be even more ready once we sing Micha Mocha. So let's sing Micha Mocha together on page 40, number 9.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osefele, Malchutcha ra'u vanecha, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני Gal Yisrael.
Now we turn to number 2 or number 10 on our online Siddur as we pray for peace. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, שתבטל מלחמות ושפיכות דמים מן העולם, ותמשיך שלום גדול ונפלא בעולם, ולא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדו על מלחמה. רק יכירו וידעו כל יושבי תבל האמת לאמיתו, אשר לא באנו לזה העולם בשביל ריב ומחלוקת, ולא בשביל שנאה וקנאה וקנטור ושפיכות דמים, רק באנו לעולם כדי להכיר אותך תתברך לנצח, ובכן תרחם עלינו ויקום בנו מקרא שכתוב, ונתתי שלום בארץ ושכבתם ואין מחריד, והשבתי חיה רעה מן הארץ, וחרב לא תעבור בארצכם, והגל כמים משפט וצדקה כנחלתן, כי מלאה הארץ דעה את אדוני כמים לים מכסים. May we say the day when war and bloodshed cease, when a great peace will embrace the whole world, then nation will not threaten nation, and humankind will not again know war. For all who live on earth shall realize we have not come into being to hate or to destroy. We have come into being to praise, to labor, and to love. Compassionate One, bless all those on earth with the power of compassion. Fulfill the promise conveyed in Torah. I will bring peace to the land, and you shall lie down, and no one shall terrify you. I will rid the land of vicious beasts, and it shall not again be ravaged by war. Let love and justice flow like a mighty stream. Let peace fill the earth as the waters fill the sea. Let us say together, Amen. Let's seal this blessing. Tashkivenu, page 42.
These words are 6 lines from the bottom of the prayer.
It's indented. Ushmor, Ushmor, Tzeitenu, Uvoenu, L'chaim, U'L'Shalom, L'chaim, U'L'Shalom, Me'ata ve'ad olam, L'chaim, U'L'Shalom, Ushmor, Ushmor, Tzeitenu, Uvoenu, Ufros aleinu, Sukkot Shalomecha, Ufros aleinu, Sukkot Shalomecha, Ushmor, Ushmor, Tzeitenu, Tzeitenu, Uvoenu, Uvoenu, L'chaim, L'chaim, U'L'Shalom, L'chaim, U'L'Shalom, U'L'Shalom, U'L'Shalom.
Let's take this moment before the Amidah, before our time for personal prayer, to offer aloud words of gratitude, to offer in the chat words of gratitude, that we might launch ourselves and each other into our personal prayer, filled up and inspired by what we've noticed this week, by our wonder, by our love. So I'm just going to invite us to just call out, what are we feeling grateful for right now?
Flowers.
Babies.
Roof over my head.
Gail and Jane. We'll pray our Amidah. We'll begin together aloud on page 46. And we'll come back together on page 62. I invite you please to rise in body and spirit.
Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai, Tiftach Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
Ose shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Ose shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol yoshvei tevel.
Vimru, imru, amen. We take this time now to pray for healing of body, for healing of spirit, for healing of circumstance. So as I look around the room, I'm going to invite you, please, to share names of people that you're praying for. And if you're like, I don't know, is she looking at me? Just feel free to say the names. Don't be worried. Like, we will create together a container. And if you're on Zoom or on YouTube, please share names or initials in the chat so we can hold your people together. But don't be afraid of layering on top of one another. It's actually, this is our minyan. We've got to just hear each other's voices together. So tonight we're going to pray for her. When the world is sick, can no one be well? Well, I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. When the world is sick, can't no one be well? Well, I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. Elna refana la, Elna refana la. Refana la, Elna refana la, Elna refana la. So I've had the gift to learn with our whole amazing Bar Mitzvah cohort since the rabbinic transition. I've gotten to meet every single one of them, and it's been such a gift. And this week, I got to study a very difficult text with a brave Bar Mitzvah student who wanted to study misogyny in Torah. Wanted is the wrong word, but who is determined to study and to understand what misogyny is doing in Torah. And the story we were looking at is about a woman who is accused by her husband, who is trying to get out of the marriage. She's accused falsely of not being a virgin. And this brilliant Bar Mitzvah student has patiently and calmly studied this terrible story, detail by detail, untangling the prose of the text, looking for meaning. We've gotten to ask thankless questions like, what does this text mean when it calls the person both a girl and a woman in the series of a few lines? And why is this woman only referred to in relationship to her husband and her father and never as an individual with agency? And together this week, we followed the trail of halakha that is derived from this story, only to discover that the Talmudic rabbis derive from this particular story the rule that women cannot speak or give testimony if men are present, and that fathers can decide to marry off their daughters even if they're minors. So we had to absorb this halakha in the same week that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And in this week, facing the Supreme Court's battery of antagonistic, destructive rulings, I felt the heaviness of being a female rabbi teaching a smart, curious young woman about the oppressive ways the Torah has been interpreted. Now, all I want to do as a rabbi is tell this Bar Mitzvah student, your voice matters. Your Torah matters. Your perspective is the perspective that our tradition needs. And I say that because it's true. I believe it to be true. I believe that our tradition needs me to be a rabbi, even though there are many who don't recognize me as a rabbi. There are voices in our tradition that want to count us out, and their roots are in the bedrock of our text and our tradition. Now, let's be clear. I became a rabbi and fell in love with Torah, even though I knew that misogynistic interpretations of text abound, even though I knew that those interpretations in some circles are mainstream, even though I knew that Jews have spent a lot more time living under the sway of those misogynistic interpretations than they have living in communities served by female and genderqueer rabbis. Now, Rabbi Sally Prisand, who was the first woman in the world ordained by a rabbinical assembly or a rabbinical seminary, was ordained on June 3rd, 1972. Just 7 months and 19 days later, Roe v. Wade was passed. My generation of Jews, of every gender, have been formed by both of these realities. My generation was blessed by the existence of these wellsprings of possibility, by the possibility of transformation and the belief that our voices and our experiences count. As someone who was born a decade after Roe v. Wade was decided, I have lived my whole life believing, wow, this is really vulnerable. I have lived my whole life believing that if I need to choose to end a pregnancy, it's my right. That I have at least that baseline level of control over my body and my life. And the fact that I trusted that I could choose when to get pregnant, when to start a family, let me act as though I could choose somewhat the course of my life, which meant that I have chosen to access Plan B when fears about being pregnant at the wrong time loomed, which meant that Noam, my partner, and I could be really conscious around when we started trying to get pregnant, and then could seek medical support when our path to pregnancy took longer and offered more challenges than we'd been expecting. Because of the context in which I was raised, which has to do with race and class, and also has to do with Roe, I believed that my life was mine to plan. So I'm grateful that I was born in 1983. Now you all can do the math. That I have gotten to live 39 years with that belief. And Roe was never enough. Roe never protected all people with uteruses adequately. It was always precarious. We were always precarious, and I just had the privilege to keep living, even as I kept my peripheral vision trained on what might be around the corner. I got to create the shape of my life, even though I knew that privilege was conditional. So our Parsha this week is devoted in part to exploring what happens when we lose access to a source of well-being. When Miriam the prophet dies in our Parsha, in Parshat Chukat, we learn that the wellspring of water which has been following her and thus the Israelites throughout the desert, it closes up. And the people lose their access to water, to this source of life in the wilderness. The people grieve her death, and then they panic. They're afraid that they won't have access to water without her. And thus begins a process where Moshe and Aaron and the people learn how to bring forth water from stone, how to elicit the flow of life from the hardest of places. Moshe shouldn't hit the rock to bring forth water like he did in Shemot, in Exodus. Rather, we learn in our Parsha that the people are to bring forth water how? Through song. They're open, they're to sing, and thus open the flow. And they sing, Ali veranula, Ali veranula, spring up, oh well, sing to her. And as they sing, the well opens to them. This singing echoes Miriam's song at the shores of the sea after the Israelites had crossed over the water. The people remember her song and are able to invite the wellspring to open. We learn in our Parsha that while Miriam is the source of the Shefa, of the divine flow of water, following her death, each Israelite must take on the responsibility to find their song, to learn to beckon water from stone. In so many ways, we are like the Israelites in Chukat. We are aware that our access to well-being, our access to life, is under threat of being cut off. And we, like the Israelites, have the responsibility to find our way into action, into life-giving song together. Our voices count. Torah needs us to imagine and to challenge and to reinterpret. The Supreme Court can overturn Roe, but we will resist, we will redistribute resources, and we will keep each other safe. They can read in any number of punishing interpretations into the text, but we will read closely until we hear the still small voice of new possibilities. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, a 9th century midrash, imagines that in the end of days, the waters of Miriam's well are destined to come up from under the doorstep of every house and to flow out and become 12 streams that irrigate all the fields and heal those who are sick. This midrash imagines that the well, Miriam's well, is springing from each of our hearts, from each of our homes. We invite that well into our homes each Havdalah when we sing about Miriam HaNeviah, in addition to Eliyahu HaNavi. We beckon that flow into being with our cooperation, our mutual aid, our courageous resistance. We beckon that flow into the world by not ignoring the challenges of the world, by not denying the violence or brokenness in Torah, but by singing through it, releasing it, and opening it. It's the song of the woman from Torah whose husband and father spoke over her. It's the song of Miriam, who was so ready to sing about miracles while wandering in the wilderness. It's the song of our young people demanding gun violence prevention. It's the song of our ecosystems calling out for accountability and partnership. We sing in the last verse of Psalm 114 praises Hahofchi Hatzur Agamayim, to the one who turned the rock into a pool of water. Chalamish Lemaino Mayim, the flinty rock into a fountain, into a geyser. So may we sing with courage and breath through the hardest and stuckest of places. May we unlock the flow of life for generations to come. May our song carry us through anger and grief, through disorientation and fear, until our song is united with the song of all life. So Shabbat Shalom. Yalai, yalai, yalalai, 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 yalai, yalai, yalalai. Yalai, yalai, yalai. So grateful for this community that makes it possible to teach Torah from the heart. So we're gonna bless each other. What an important week to bless each other. Whoosh! So I'm going to invite all of our wise ones on Zoom to get ready. Get those blessing fingers ready. We're ready to receive you. We will begin number 3 in our purple sheets. Number 16 in the online Siddur. And then I'm going to invite you, please, as we have been doing every week since Bereshit, since Genesis, we will receive your blessings in the chat and absorb them as a community with so much gratitude and love. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hanearim, v'karev hahem shemi, v'shem avotai, Avraham ve'Yitzchak, ve'yitgul harov, b'kerev haaretz. Yisimchem Elohim kesara, kerivka, kerachel uchelea, kefraim uchimenashe. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. Yalai, 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 lalai, lalai, yalalai, 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 ay, yalalalai, yalai, ay, yalai, yo. I forgot to say this, but cuddle yourself or cuddle someone near you with consent as we bring these blessings close. Let's never forget to cuddle when there's a chance to cuddle. May we be blessed with the courage to sing, and may our songs be heard. May the songs of our spirits find their way home through action, word, and prayer. May we survive this mess. May we be able to appreciate the magic beauty around us every day, the birds, the trees, the water, the water, the water. May we join voices to sing our shared song. May you feel a cloak of security and protection as you sit with hard emotions. May we hold each other with the utmost care and with the fierceness that we need. May we breathe through it. May we be blessed with wisdom to see a path to joy. May you find yourself in community when you need it most. May we find the strength in ourselves and those around us to rise each time the waves knock us down. May we feel the blessings on the connections that free and strengthen us. May we open our hearts to new ways of being and taking action. May we sing for the good of all that is, even if we fear it won't bring us the water we need. May we be as generous with our forgiveness for loved ones as we are with the food we share with them. May we search for and find small joys, even in the midst of challenges. The song of a wren, lightning bugs, a smile from a loved one. May we feel whole, grounded, and ready for anything. May we all move through the world with music singing in our hearts and from our mouths. May we give and receive the energy of song and melody to strengthen our connections to self and to others. Ken yehi ratzon. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la. Ya la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la la, ya la la. Ya la, ya. Ken yehi ratzon. Yasher koach to our brilliant blessers. Let us seal our service in prayer. V'hashevota, page 284, 17. Please rise in body and spirit. V'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim. V'hashevota elevavecha ki havaya hi Elohim. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. So we take this time now to remember Mourner's Kaddish. We remember those who have died recently or at this time in years past. And as is the custom in our community, you're invited to share a sentence or two about people that you're remembering. And we ask, because it is late, that you really do try to keep your stories. I know there's so much to share, but you try to keep your stories to just a few sentences. I'll read our community's list. And if you haven't heard your loved one's name, please wait till the end of that list and then raise your hand and I will come to you so you can share their names and a few words about them. Let's take a breath. So we're in Shloshim. We're in the first 30 days since the death of Jack Ziegler, beloved member of Shir Tikva.
So I was pretty close with Jack, and I've been thinking about him a lot today because the Shabbat, I think it's the 28th here at Side of the Rebbe, and so that, led me to some books that we both shared a love for, and I feel kind of the connection that way with him, but still miss him.
Molly Farrell McCarthy, Jerry Rosen and Martha Brand's granddaughter, who died at 5.5 last week after a long struggle with cancer. And she loved unicorns and sounded like a really incredible and joyful person. Earl Silber, Larry Silber's father, and Emily Silber and Naomi Silber's grandfather, and Jane Binder's father-in-law. Phyllis Hiller, Carolyn Hiller's mother. And we observe the yahrzeit of Zelda Cohen, Jessica Cohen's grandmother, Juris Kuriskis, Jancy Kuriskis' father and grandfather of artists. Ethel Erstling, Jay's mother, Philip Foreman, Paula's father, Anne Garfinkel Forpal, Hirsch Berman's cousin, Armand Godin, Andre's father, Mabel Guillaume Nordstrom, Dennis's grandmother.
Yeah, that's not the postcard I got, but okay. Grandma Mabel was a bear. She was gruff and rough. But she loved you, and you had to discern it. And she made the best chocolate cake which fortunately has been preserved and passed down.
Rabbi Mordechai Halpern, father of Dan and Ronnie. Walter Hiller, Carolyn's father. Yes. Oh, of course, please.
Rabbi Halpern was my uncle. He died when we were young, but I remember as toddlers, little kids, we'd play in one room and the adults would be in the other room. He always came and sat with us and played our games, and we had fun memories, good times.
Thank you. And David, that was such good modeling. Please interrupt me. If I haven't seen you, you will not hurt my feelings, please. So Walter Hiller, Carolyn's father. Nicole Hurtubise said, Julie Jacob's sister-in-law.
Yeah, she was a very gentle soul and died much too young.
Mark Johnson, Amy's brother. Jack E. Keyes, Carol Keyes, Farrer's father. Anna Lipkin, Laura's grandmother. Farron Rebecca Loeb, Liz Loeb's sister. Adam Morris, Fred and Wendy Morris's son and brother of Max and Jack. Myron Nierenstein, Todd's father. Ben Peiser, Ben Peiser's grandfather. And Rabbi Bernard Raskus, David's father. Yeah.
My father passed away 25 years to the English and Hebrew yard site of my Uncle Morty, who we just heard his name. So it's a family connection or whatever. But I just want to say my father was a pulpit rabbi for many years in St. Paul, and he'd be very proud and supportive of Shir Tikva in this time, and the growth and the change and how strong we are, even with everything that happened, or however you want to say it. But it's just, he'd be very proud of us right now. And he used to join us for high holidays for many, many years when Stacy was here. So she'd always comment about my mother's hats.
Rabbi B.T. Rubenstein, Jim's father. Robert Schlesinger, Susanna Altman's father. Edward Schwartz, Mickey Donofsky's uncle. William Shankman, Tema's father. Virginia Shedlove, Dan Friedman Shedlove's grandmother. Sam Slavic, Sarah Malikoff's grandfather. Lorraine Tilson, Ariella's mother. Joseph Weiss, Kate's father. And Bob Timothy Wilson, Leah Robertson's father. I'm going to ask, are there other names of people we want to share tonight? I invite the community please to rise in body and spirit for Kadisha Tome, for Mourner's Kaddish, found on page 294, or number 18. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen, yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brich Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen, yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen, oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace and comfort to all those who mourn and all those who remember. Let us say together, amen. You may be seated. As our amazing co-president, Amy Funk, is coming up. Wow, new moves. I'm going to just say thank you to Gail and to Jane for your beautiful leading. Thank you to Larry Wolf, who is behind the wizard behind the curtain, who has made this possible. Thank you so much to Sam and to Harry and the whole Macomb Minion on Zoom, and just thank you to each one of you for being here in all the ways that you are. It means so much to be able to gather together.
Shabbat Shalom. I'd also like to thank Isabel, who is our Siddur stuffer, and Julie Jacobs, who keeps us together. She's our shamas. At the end of services, please return the prayer books to the usher table with it's been referred to as purple and blue tonight. I think it's purple. The purple sheet pulled out, and there'll be a pile of those. For those who attend services and would like to do a mitzvah, we need drivers for congregants who hope to attend in-person services but need transportation to Shir Tikva. This doesn't have to be a weekly commitment. Drivers will be geographically matched with those needing rides. If you are able to help, contact jim.jmiller@gmail.com. And Rondi Atkin, our amazing co-chair of the caring community, has a few words. Is that what you were going to say?
Thank you.
I'll know next time. I'll know next time not to steal your thunder. I apologize. But you can find all of our Shir Tikva programming updates in our weekly e-news. If you don't currently receive our emails, you can sign up on the homepage of our website. If after services you want to kibitz, which we love that everybody here wants to kibitz, we ask that you do it outside. So Julie Jacobs can go home. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much. So good. Thank you so much, Julie. And thank you also to David Bailey, who baked our challah and who has been really so generous and with so much heart is helping make manifest abundance. So much gratitude. So with no further ado, let's bless our grape juice and our challah, shall we? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Shabbat shalom. We will seal in song. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be all together. Shabbat shalom.
I'm still chewing. Sorry, I'm chewing. Kol halam lo gesher meod, gesher meod, gesher meod. Kol haolam kulo gesher meod, gesher meod. והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד. העיקר לא לפחד כלל.
Shabbat shalom. Yes,
Shabbat shalom.